Epilepsy warning for flashing lights and colors.
Please note, this list will contain spoilers for each ride. You can find a ride list in the description. You've heard of jump scares in video games, but believe it or not, there can be jump scares on roller coasters too. These moments are specifically designed to startle riders with an unexpected twist at some point in the ride. So with the Halloween season in full swing, here are the top 10 roller coaster jump scares as voted on by the fans. Number 10, the Scarecrow and the Launch at Flucht von Novgorod at Germany's Hansa-Park. Built by German manufacturer Gerstlauer, this attraction is a pitch-perfect hybrid of a dark ride and a roller coaster. First opening in 2009, this ride has intricate storytelling with a fantasy horror theme. The coaster's layout starts off with a dark ride section, featuring visual effects and animatronics. All of a sudden and out of nowhere, the train takes a sudden drop down in the dark, heading straight into a launch section. The sudden appearance of the launch, combined with the added momentum from the drop, is said to make this one of the most intense launches on Earth, taking guests to around 62 miles per hour in just 1.4 seconds. Guests are taken through an outdoor portion with a heartline roll before heading back inside. Soon enough, the train will reach the final brake run. But the thrills don't end there, because all of a sudden, a scarecrow drops down from the ceiling to startle the passengers. It's a simple effect, but the fact that it occurs on the final brake run undoubtedly makes it a heart-pounding surprise. To put it bluntly, this coaster looks fantastic, and spoiler alert, it won't be the last Hansa-Park coaster on this list. Number 9, the Nebula Ghost on Space Mountain Ghost Galaxy at California's Disneyland, a paranormal sci-fi overlay on their classic Space Mountain coaster. The ride has an unsettling start, with an ascent up the lift hill with ominous music. At the top of the lift, the portal to space takes shape, but so does the main antagonist of the ride. A hostile skeletal space creature, known as Bob by Disney cast members, begins to take shape, shooting bolts of plasma at guests. Throughout the ride, guests are stalked and chased by Bob, dodging stars and asteroids in a desperate escape route. Eventually, riders reach the portal back to the station, but they are far from out of the woods, because Bob shows up one more time with a rather infamous jump scare, popping out just before the final turn into the unboarding zone. Number 8, the launch hill on the Incredible Hulk at Florida's Islands of Adventure. The Incredible Hulk needs no introduction, especially if you're a Marvel fan, but before the days of giving tacos to Paul Rudd, the Universal Studios Resort in Orlando opened up a whole new roller coaster theme to him in 1999. Though it has since been updated with new track, a new queue, and new effects, the overall ride remains the same, including the next jump scare on this list. Like most roller coasters, this ride starts off with a lift hill, but this isn't a chain lift. Instead, a set of drive tires slowly take the train up a tunnel. This feels like a typical start to a roller coaster, but all of a sudden, the ascension speeds up significantly, shooting guests out of the tunnel and into a zero-G roll. This launch comes out of nowhere with no warning. You can't even tell it's coming from looking at the tires. When I first rode this coaster in 2003, I did not see this coming at all, and it was perhaps the biggest shot of adrenaline I'd ever received at the time. The rest of the ride is packed with thrilling upside-down moments, but that launch is certainly the most exciting of them. Islands of Adventure is already one of the absolute goats of theme parks, and it's attractions like the Hulk that make it worthy of that reputation. Number 7, the train on the Dark Knight coaster at Six Flags Great Adventure, Great America, and Mexico. Ordinarily, Wild Mouse rides are considered one of the most common roller coaster models out there. Take a small train, put it on a layout with hairpin turns and thrilling dips, and you've got a low-cost coaster with a small footprint. But for the Dark Knight coaster, it was decided to give the concept a lot more flavor. Based on the classic 2008 movie The Dark Knight, this coaster is built entirely indoors. After a well-themed queue, riders board vehicles resembling subway cars. On this ride, you'll enter the chaotic world of Gotham City, where the Joker is raising his Academy Award-winning brand of anarchy. You'll also encounter his masked henchmen, including one startling jump scare at the end of the ride. Shortly before returning to the station, a train driven by the Joker's henchmen will flash its lights and honk its horn on your left. This moment is widely regarded as an infamous jump scare, and it has startled countless people over the years. There isn't a whole lot of footage of this effect, but luckily, this effect is still in use today, so don't tell your friends about it when you ride with them. Number 6. Harold on the Matterhorn at Disneyland. First opening in 1959, the Matterhorn was the first ever roller coaster to use tubular steel track. This ride is built into an enormous man-made mountain based on the real-life Matterhorn in Switzerland. But this mountain is more than just an exterior facade, because the inside is intricately themed as well, with excellent sculpting. By 1978 though, the park decided to add a little something extra to the ride. That year, the park added Harold, a life-size figure of a Yeti that would suddenly appear as riders maneuvered the twisting track at a fast pace. The original figure was not an animatronic, since it did not move. However, in 2015, Harold would receive a modern makeover as a true animatronic. Appearing from behind a wall of ice, Harold loudly roars at riders as they pass by, sporting glowing red eyes and a royally pissed off expression. What makes this moment so effective is how suddenly he appears. As it stands, Harold is yet another iconic Disney theme park character who's sure to startle even the toughest parkgoers. Number 5. Allura on Journey to Atlantis at Florida's SeaWorld Orlando. Back in 1998, SeaWorld Orlando introduced its first ever roller coaster to the public. This heavily themed coaster dark ride hybrid centered around guests being guided to the lost city of Atlantis by a magical seahorse named Hermes. Starting off as a slow-moving dark ride, passengers were surrounded by colorful lighting and water effects, but the titular journey to Atlantis was not without conflict. During the dark ride portion, an evil mermaid named Allura confronts guests, showing her face through early projection screen technology and late 90s CGI. Just before the first lift hill, a large upper body figure of Allura would suddenly appear above guests. This figure would emerge from a hole in the wall, with a flashing light illuminating it. Unsurprisingly enough, this ride initially received complaints from parents that it was too scary for children. However, the coaster remained the same all the way until 2017, when most of the effects in the story in general were turned off. Interestingly enough though, Allura still remains in place, though the jump scare moment was removed as well, so she's basically just a decorative statue at this point. Number 4. The surprise drops on Saw the Ride at England's Thorpe Park. Based on the horror movie franchise that made the Friday the 13th movies look like the Hannah Montana movie, Saw the Ride sets guests in one of Jigsaw's traps. Passengers are challenged to escape the trap to survive, but doing so is far from a walk in the park. The outdoor portion of the ride features a beyond vertical drop, along with inversions and a nice near-miss element with spinning prop saw blades. But it's the dark ride portion at the beginning that has the next scare on this list. After approaching Billy, passengers approach a pair of swinging pendulum blades. Just before they're sliced up like sashimi though, guests are suddenly sent down towards a strobe-lit spike pit. The lighting makes it hard to see this drop coming, which is sure to surprise first-time riders. Passengers then dodge syringes shooting from the walls before yet another surprise drop. The whole ride experience is immensely thrilling, and horror movie buffs will get a kick out of it. As it stands, Saw the Ride is an excellently themed roller coaster experience, even if you don't like the Saw movies. Number 3. The Dragon on Chaos at Tennessee's Opryland USA. Though no longer in operation, Opryland USA was once a thriving theme park in Nashville, Tennessee. This park had a number of attractions and roller coasters in its lineup, one of which was an extremely bizarre roller coaster by Dutch manufacturer Vekoma. This ride model was notable for its spiral layout and extremely long train. In fact, there were 40 cars on this train. Yes, 40. This coaster actually had a capacity of 1,400 riders per hour with one train alone. And with each car able to seat 2 people at the same time, the coaster could sit 80 people per ride cycle. Yes, 80. But this coaster's train is not why it made the list. After ascending the long spiral lift upwards, guests approach the first drop. Around this point, guests were originally greeted with an alien named Leslie, who looks kind of like Pumpkinhead. Later on, the alien was replaced with a large dragon head. To this day, only 2 photos and no video exists of this dragon. Apparently, the dragon could breathe, blowing air onto riders passing by below to startle them. What makes the design of this guy so terrifying are the hyper-realistic eyes with a wide-open stare. Sadly, this coaster would close with the park in 1997. To this day, photos and video of the coaster are extremely rare, and it's unknown if any more photos exist of the dragon or Leslie. If anyone can find more photos of this dragon, you will have stumbled on a true holy grail in the coaster history community. Number 2, the fake-out drop on Schwur Karnan at Hansa-Park. Yep, another coaster at Hansa-Park. This coaster named Schwur Karnan is often considered to be a hidden gem in the coaster community. Many enthusiasts have referred to it as one of the best roller coasters in Germany, with its size, scale, and crazy elements. By far the most unique element on this ride is the next jump scare on this list, and it's a rather unexpected one. Much like Flucht von Novgorod, this coaster takes place partly indoors. Towards the beginning, your vehicle will ascend a vertical lift hill. Just before reaching the top though, you'll suddenly drop backwards down the lift. Just a few years ago in 2017, the park actually intensified this drop, making it twice as fast. Just imagine riding this for the first time with a friend and not telling them about this drop. Number 1. Any drop track on any roller coaster. The viewers agree, this ride element is the most shocking, scream-inducing, and jump-scariest moment you can find on a roller coaster. This element is basically a dead-end straight section of track that the train comes to a stop on. After a while, the entire section of track drops downward to a lower track section with guests on board. This sudden drop gives a startling pop of airtime, quite literally making it a jump scare. In total, 11 roller coasters have this element. I can certainly say from experience that this element has elicited screams and laughter, and I've seen people hyperventilating after experiencing it. If you want a full list of the coasters that have this element, I've included a link in the description. Now it's time for the comment shoutout program. This is where I take 3 random comments from my past video and read them out. These comments are from my video on the evolution of the inversion record. Your Average Dude says, I used to get the world record of the Banshee confused with the Smiler. The Smiler is the most inverted, sure, but Banshee is the longest inverted and it's a must ride. H-Fad Warrior says, the centrifugal railway looks kind of cute. And Scoops says, idea, top 10 best night rides. That's a good idea, Scoops. Feel free to suggest some good night rides in the comments. If you want to see your words in my next video, leave a comment down below and it may be selected. Please note though that inflammatory or spam comments will not be read. Thank you all so much, and if you want to support me on Patreon, you can do so once again at the link in the description.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, or you can check out my website at themeparkcrazy.com. This is Theme Park Crazy, and I'll see you all next time.